Good morning. We want to welcome you to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting posted for today, May the 1st, 2018. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, again, we just give you thanks for another great day that you've given us, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity you give us to come serve today, Lord. We continue to pray for this elected body, Lord, for the judge, the 4 commissioners that you've appointed to lead our great county, Lord. We continue to ask for your wisdom, Lord, for your insight, Lord, and also your peace, Lord, as they make all the decisions that affect us all, Lord. I will continue to lift up those that are battling illnesses, Lord, the Hidalgo County family, the Drainage District family also that has employees that are battling cancer and other illnesses, Lord. We lift them up to you, Lord. Put your healing hand on them, Lord, and give them your peace, Lord, as well to them and their families, Lord. Watch over them. We just continue to ask you for your blessings for our county, for our area, for our nation, Lord. And I continue to ask for your wisdom, Lord, for the Drainage District, for all our workers, for all our great leaders of this great county, providing your wisdom and your peace as well, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Did anyone sign up in the open forum?
Yes, sir. We do have 3 participants. I will remind everybody in the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute. Our first presenter is Dr. Casey Fletcher.
Morning, Judge and County Commissioners. We're at the Drainage District 1, and I'd still like to repeat, I think when you tally up the cost of diverting traffic and drainage for downtown Edinburgh, that you're going to save $77 million or $77 million that you don't have to spend, that's provided for. There's infrastructure ready to go out there at La Ciena, which I call La Sanidad for the county courthouse. And also, I'm Dr. Fletcher. I live 5-4 South Diplomat, City of FAR, in Precinct 2. And I'd also like to talk about maybe draining the swamp of the Hidalgo County Historical Commission. There's a colleague I have. He happens to be studying in Los Angeles right now, and he tried to go through the City of FAR to put up a historical marker for the FAR police riots of 1971, about 37 years ago, I guess, but that should be commemorated, never to be forgotten. He got state approval, and the Hidalgo County Historical Commission, which y'all have jurisdiction over, is obligated to pay for the plaque, but they missed a very, very important deadline, and it's a $1,600 charge. So the Hidalgo County Historical Commission sort of told them to go F you. DEF stands for fun yourself. So he started a GoFundMe project, and within a month he's got the money. So appreciate any and all help from the Commissioner's Court and especially Precinct 2, Eddie Cantu, in getting this historical marker put up at the corner of Bell and South Cajun FAR. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next presenter is Miss Virginia Townsend.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Townsend.
I know you all have probably considered this because it used to be that way, but would you consider putting drainage after your regular meeting? And that way, if you do have to go into a long executive session like you did last week, you will not hold up so many department heads. That's a long time, an hour and a half to sit and have your department head sitting here waiting for the meeting. I know you probably considered it before because that's the way it was before. I don't know how it got changed or why, but I just wondered if you've considered it. Thanks.
Thank you. And the last presenter is Miss Hortensia Medina.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Hortensia Medina. Yo vengo y represento a la organización Arise del sur de Álamo. Este día estamos aquí para dar gracias a los comisionados que nos apoyaron en el evento del Día del Niño, que fue el abril 28 de este año 2018, que se llevó a cabo el 13º año que celebramos el evento del Día del Niño. Y queremos reconocer al comisionado Eddie Cantú, precinto número 2, por todo el apoyo, y también al comisionado David Fuentes, precinto número 1, y queremos hacerles entrega de un certificado de agradecimiento y gracias por todo el apoyo.
Good morning, commissioners and judge. My name is Hortensia Medina. I represent Arise, located in South Tower in Alma. On this day, we'd like to thank the commissioners who supported us in our Dia del Niño event this past Saturday, April 28th. And this is also the 13th year we celebrate, and we just like to recognize Commissioner Eddie Cantú from Precinct 2 and also Commissioner David Fuentes. And we're just going to give you guys a certificate.
Y queremos hacerles entrega a cada uno de ustedes.
Muchísimas gracias. Gracias.
Gracias a todos.
With everybody, we're fine with this. Gracias. Gracias.
I look a lot like this.
Anyone else, Father?
No, sir.
Okay, on our consent agenda, any concern?
No, sir. No concerns.
Motion to approve.
I'm aware of.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Item 5, requesting approval of closing documents, Parcel 4, as it relates to Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2 project, and authority for the chairman of the board to execute documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6, requesting approval of closing documents for Parcel 26, it relates to J09 project, and authority of the chairman of the board to execute documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, approval to issue payment on the following items. Application for payment number 1 in the amount of $22,734.90 from Venture Contractors LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 1-18-003-02-06 Alma Lateral and Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2 improvements, North our outfall structure north of Canton Road, Alberta Road, and Tower Road crossing.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8, approval to issue payment on the following items. Proceeding review and the compliance contract terms and conditions. A, application for payment number 2 in the amount of $6,322.95 from Gonzalez Enterprises LLC pertaining to construction contract number ACD 1-17-055-1205 Dow County District number 1 Administration Facilities Site Utilities.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We have another closed session item. It's going to take about 3 hours today. So. No, we have no closed session items today.
Move to adjourn.
Second. None today.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. This time we're going to convene our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting posted for today, May the 1st, 2018. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantú, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we thank you on this day. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us. We thank you in good times and in bad. We ask you to bless the people here that are all working together, trying to make our county a better place. We ask you to bless our country, bless our families, and bless each and every one of us as we go about what we do every day. And we ask this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to pull from consent agenda item 10B.
So motion to approve the rest of the
Yes, sir.
consent?
Yes. Just to approve the consent with the exception of 10B.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, item 10B for the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from any discussion and or action. So if I could.
Motion to approve. Second.
Order in court.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 5.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Julia Sullivan with Public Affairs. Excuse me. Item 5 is 5A is a proclamation declaring May 2018 Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Whereas motorcycle riding is a popular form of recreation and transportation for thousands of people across the county, state, and nation. And whereas motorcycles are a common and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And whereas the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Motorcycle Safety Foundation have designated May as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. During Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, motorcycle organizations across the country will be conducting activities to promote the importance of motorist awareness and safety, sharing the road with motorcycles, and to remind riders to make themselves more visible to others. Wanted to call your attention to the poster that's on the screen. That's a motorcycle awareness ride that will be held on this Saturday, May 5th, and everybody's invited to attend. So whereas the County of Hidalgo, Texas wishes to promote the safety campaign of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in its efforts to ensure the safety and well-being of all, now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims May 2018 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month and urges all motorists to join in efforts to keep our highways and our streets safe. Approve this first day of May 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Do we have any motorcycles here? Motorcycles? Okay. That'll do it then. Thank you.
Item 6, our Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Captain Herrera with the Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County. Item 6A, pursuant to Hidalgo County Cellular Phone Policy AT&T DIR TSO 3420, presentation and consideration, acceptance and approval of cellular phone request form, Data Connect Government for the following: approval of requisition number 369131 for 2 data cards, governmental unlimited data for SkyCup license plate reader towers at $40 per device.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
6B, pursuant to Hidalgo County Cellular Telephone Policy AT&T DIR TSO 3420, presentation and consideration, acceptance and approval of cellular phone request form, Data Connect Government for the following: approval of requisition number 370425 for a 19 data card, governmental unlimited data for new patrol units at $37 per device.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Item 7, Constable, Precinct 3.
Good morning, Commissioner, Judge, Chief Deputy Hernan Gonzalez for Constable Precinct 3.
Good morning, sir.
Today we have ratification for application submitted for the National Incident-Based Reporting System, NIBRS grant with the Governor's Criminal Justice Division through e-grants.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval of the resolution for NIBRS grant to designate Judge Ramon Garcia as grantee, authorized official, and to sign required documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Constable Precinct 4, number 8.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sorry, Judge, give me a second. This thing's cut off in the bottom. Constable Precinct 4, A164598. Constable Precinct 4, authorization and approval to apply for the Operation Stone Garden 2017 OPSG grant with the Office of Governor's Homeland Security Division through e-grants.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authorization for the county judge as authorized official to e-sign the application form and related documents under e-grants.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3, approval of resolution for OPSG 2017 grant to designate Judge Ramon Garcia as grantee's authorized official and to sign required documents. Grant period January 1st, 2018 through August 31st of 2019.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, Constable Precinct 4, approval of 2018 appropriation of fund balance for Constable Precinct 4, Chapter 59 in the amount of $221,456 with 54 cents.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C, Constable Precinct 4, U.S. Treasury 1259, approval of 2018 appropriation of fund balance for Constable Precinct 4, U.S. Treasury in the amount of $44,360.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, our executive office.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. There's no action to be taken under item 9A1. I am going to ask Mr. Ramirez to come to the podium for 9A2, emergency situations current since last agenda meeting. Mr. Ramirez, can you give everyone an update with respect to the issue we had with our email server?
Yes, Mr. Guerra. Good morning. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to update the court on the email situation that we informed last week. First of all, I would like to thank the Judge and the Commissioners for their guidance and support during this incident. I would also like to thank the departments and the constituents for their patience. We've also had the local vendor community reach out to us and a local county offer their assistance. I'm happy to inform that we restored email services back on Thursday afternoon of last week, and we have been fully functional and communicating since then. Now, we're still working on restoring some of the archival data, and that's going to be a little bit of a process. So we asked for some patience, and we can take every case, every user's case, step by step as they need information. And I will continue to keep the court informed as we move forward.
How do you do that? How do you take individual cases?
Previously, the previous email platform was distributed across 3 different servers. So in some cases, if your box was on one of the more functional servers, we can get that data out. The data that was on there's one particular server, the one that caused the incident, the main one. If that data's in there, that's going to be a little bit more of a process. So we have to do a little bit of analysis to understand where your data is. Now, we are currently beginning the move to the cloud platform.
So we can, I thought we talked about that part, but so we could submit 2 or 3 individuals in our office that would need access to their emails. Obviously, I have 90 employees, but if I only need 2 or 3 of them, you can check to see if they're in that one server?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Well, we'll submit that to you.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead.
That was it for me this morning.
Well, you mentioned the cloud, and
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. We're moving the platform, the current platform, to the cloud, and then we will move those servers to the cloud. And then at that point, we can figure out where we're at on the rest of the.
Can you bring that back to us before you decide to move to the cloud? Because I have heard some concerns at the meeting about moving to the cloud.
Yes, sir. I can.
Or, I mean, if you're already actively doing it, have you looked at the concerns that were brought up at that meeting?
We got the PO yesterday evening, so we really haven't begun any moves.
Okay.
We're just going to plan what it's going to take, the scope of what it's going to take, the amount of data, and the steps. And
we can do pros and cons on that, and then not only financially, but security and other stuff like that. We can look at all those before you do it.
Yes, sir. Duly noted. I will reach out to you.
Thank you.
Have a good morning.
Item 10.
9B, if I may, Judge, just real quick, item 9B, requesting approval to submit application to the Texas State Library and Archives Commission for accreditation in state libraries system with authority for the county judge to sign our documents.
Good morning. I'm Kate Horan. I am your county librarian, and I'm here this morning to request approval to submit an application for accreditation to Texas State Library and Archives Commission. This is the first year in recent years that we have had to send in a report and ask for a letter of accreditation from the state library, and that is due to the ebook collection.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10, our human resources.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I have a little voice problem, so it'll come and go. I won't be able to sing tonight karaoke, but Judge, Commissioners, item 10A, first, we're requesting a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments for personnel items that are listed below.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10B is classification and compensation plan, salary schedule, various departments. Judge, Commissioners, the new salary schedule is effective Monday, April the 30th. We're in the process of reconciling the old salary schedule with the new salary schedule so that if nobody's missed, everybody is correct. And in the process of doing reconciliation, we identify or encounter some mistakes that we need to correct. But that's what it is. There are corrections. We're not making changes to people's salary or anything like that. We're making corrections. The list that I have attached, it includes for the 139, we have the title on the old salary schedule on the new was assistant coordinator, when in fact that person is a bailiff. No change in the salary, with just a title correction. We have 5 positions in the county clerk's office where some departments, Commissioners, you can hear me?
No, we're getting a little feedback, so I was asking Ms. Julia.
Oh, okay. I'm too close? Well, because of my throat, I thought maybe okay. On the county clerk, some departments, if you might recall, were still operating their own mini step and grade where they would start positions at step 0, less than the budgeted amount, and then they would promote them after probation. Well, before the 30th, we got some change of statuses where they bumped the people up to the budgeted amount, so we're correcting those. There was 5 in the county clerk's office, 3 administrative assistants, and the sheriff. The salary is corrected down. We have a clerk in the sheriff's office. The salary is corrected down. We have 2 nurses where the title is changed from nurse 3 to nurse 4. There's no change in the salary, just a title correction. We have some adjustments in precinct 1, 2, and 4 based on the budgeted salary, and we have 2 other positions that were adjustments down because of corrections. So these are corrections that we're making as we upload the new salary schedule. This is what we're doing this week, reconciling. If we find any other errors, we might have to come back to you. But I think these are all for now, we hope. Anytime you have a new system, we have 2,000 positions that we're classifying and uploading. There's bound to be some mistakes, Judge. So I'm going to ask for approval of the salary schedule corrections as listed on Exhibit A, effective 4/30/2018.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, because this is something new, there's going to be some growing pains. We're going to be providing training for all departments We're in the process of developing training because under this process, some departments are still having some issues where they're used to, I want to pay this amount to this person, I want to pay that amount to that person, and it's not going to work that way anymore. It's not the individual departments that will decide, but rather the operation of the plan that will determine what the person will get paid, and it applies to everybody across the board. So we're going to have some training on that. We're going to have some issues that might come up, but I think over time we need to give it time for people to understand that it's fair across the board for everybody. So I appreciate your support on this. Katia. Trying to save my voice.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Item 10C, Border Colonia Access Program, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. We're requesting action to create slot number 0002, clerk 4, with a proposed budgeted salary of $39,253 and to add supplemental allowance in the amount of $3,500.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, approval to transfer employee number 1191 to slot number 0002, effective May 14th, 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 3, approval of interdepartmental transfer.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 10D, Precinct 1 Administration, approval to extend the temporary position listed below, effective May the 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2018. Slot number T034, Administrative Assistant 1, with a proposed hourly rate of $12.76 per hour.
Move.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, approval of interdepartmental transfer.
So move. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, our Health Department.
Looks like no action.
Let's move on to item 12, our Elections Office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Yvonne Ramon with the Elections, item 12A, updates. I would like to remind everyone that today is the last day to early vote for our cities and schools elections. All locations are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Cities include Elsa, Hidalgo, and Mission. School districts include Mission, CISD, Sherryland ISD. We are also running Agua Special Utility District election, Donna Irrigation District Number 1 election, and South Texas College Districts 2 and 6. Keeping in mind that if you're not able to go vote today, Saturday is Election Day, May 5th. Call our office, visit our website for those locations, and keep in mind that those locations will also be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Any questions on that?
What about Mcallen, the city of Mcallen, that bond election?
That's the only election that we don't run, Judge, so I imagine today is also their last day, and Saturday will also be their election day.
You don't happen to know where the locations are?
No, sir, I don't.
All right.
I do have the ones that we are running. I have those locations here if anyone has a question on where those are.
We're on discussion on election updates?
Yes, sir.
Without having, I don't want to go into a big discussion on this, but on changing of address, can we be more, you're going to talk about that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So we'll move on then to the second update, which is that our runoff starts on Monday, May 14th, keeping in mind that the runoff is only for 5 days of early vote. So early vote starts Monday, May 14th, and runs through Friday, May 18th. And it's only 5 days, and we have 3 races on the ballot, and only Democrat races. There are no Republican runoffs locally. So it'll only be a Democrat ballot, keeping in mind that if you voted Democrat, you will be able to vote on the runoff. If you did not vote, you will be able to vote. But if you voted Republican, then you will not be allowed to vote in this runoff, because you cannot switch parties during a primary. There are 3 races on the ballot. It's Governor, Lupe Valdez and Andrew White, County Treasurer, Lita Leo and David Salazar Jr., Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 4, Place 2, Armando Guerra and Homer Hasso Sr. That election day will now be Tuesday, May 22nd, and it also runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. A third update is on Friday, April 27th, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the Texas voter ID law, keeping in mind that this law originated as Senate Bill 100 back in 2011. So the law stands. So what does that mean? That if you possess one of the original 7 IDs, you must show that ID. Now, on September of 2016, they added to this law and added what is called a Part List B. If you do not possess, if you do not own one of the 7, then you are allowed to vote with any document that has your name and shows an address. Going along with that, you must fill out what is called a declaration of impediment. What is keeping me from being able to obtain one of those original 7s? And what's important to note is that the law did get stricter this past last legislative session in making a false statement on this declaration of impediment. It does carry a maximum of 180 days to 2 years in jail and a fine up to $10,000. So let's make sure that we are correctly filling out the forms. And of course, we have our poll workers that will assist you should there be any questions. Now, this is very important to note. You are required to show an ID when you vote, but not when you register to vote or when you make a change to your voter information. You are not required to show an ID then. So it's very, very important to note that that application that a person is filling out when they are registering to vote or making a change is a legal document. It is an affidavit, and the information on there is legal. So that's very, very important to note. Now, I will move on to the Election Code, Section 1.05. That code states that I, as the elections administrator, cannot question residents. I cannot send a notice of examination like I can for a report that we get that there's a deceased person on the rolls or a non-U.S. citizen or a possible felon or age. I can send a letter of examination, which is more of an investigation. The state puts out a format, a letter, documents that we send out. But I, as the elections administrator, cannot do that on residents. That now takes into account a legal entity that can investigate residents, but my department and I cannot do that. So that's very important. Now, what can we do? We can send out what is called a confirmation. So we send out a confirmation, and the voter has 30 days to respond. If he or she does not respond, that doesn't cancel their application the way these others will. It doesn't cancel. What it does is it puts them in a state of suspense. So if I am on suspense, I go to vote, and I am on the voter rolls, but at that point I must fill out what is called a statement of residence before I can vote. So you are an active voter. Again, reiterating that my department does not question residents. There is no investigation there.
Okay, in light of that, have you sent any confirmation? I mean, obviously there's been a lot of talk in November of 17 and March of 2018. Has your department sent out any confirmation letters to confirm change of address?
Yes, sir. We are working with legal entities, as I said, and so we are following the advice of legal. We have met with various departments, and because this is an ongoing, that is all that I can say at this point. But yes, sir, there are
I thought that there was a different, I thought that you all sent confirmations no matter what, and that the legal, whatever you're referring to, is something separate.
And I can make reference to our district attorney's office, which is who we work with to begin with, and this was their advice as we moved forward with.
Let me take it one at a time then. Mm-hmm. On the confirmation, can you do that on your own?
Yes, sir, and we have.
That's what I understood. Yes. And so you don't need the DA or anybody else to allow you to send confirmations.
Yes. And we did, as we got notice and we received calls, we immediately sent confirmations.
So the confirmation doesn't go out automatically.
No, sir. We must receive.
Let's say I go in to change my address. Will I get a confirmation,
no,
or
sir.
only if there's some kind of speculation or something?
Exactly, sir. If someone calls or comes by and there is a question of your change, then yes, sir, a confirmation will go out at that point. but not until that happens. It's not something we are allowed to do automatically. Now, another that we do automatically is when we do our massive mail-out. When we every 2 years do a massive mail-out, if those cards come back.
Let me understand that correctly. You're not allowed to do it unless somebody brings it up, or you choose not to because of the extent of the people that change your address?
We're not allowed because, as I stated, I am not allowed to do a letter of examination, which is an investigation on residence or domicile.
We're talking about I'm still talking about the confirmation.
A confirmation is sent out when there is a question of the residence address or the change.
And that's required by statute?
What is required by statute?
You can only send out the confirmation if it's questioned?
Yes, sir.
By statute?
Yes, sir. And I have all those statutes.
How about abnormalities? Obviously, there were thousands of, or hundreds, if not thousands, of abnormalities in regards to change of addresses coming from a respective area.
Right.
Shouldn't that flag something where you want to make sure it didn't happen in prior historically? You've never seen that before?
And at that point, when that is identified, I guess would be the word, then we then immediately deal with legal.
Yeah.
If there has been no complaint, concern, something addressed, then we immediately, once we see that, we immediately deal with legal.
Here's where I stand, and this is just unbiasedly.
Yes, sir.
We hold elections for cities, school districts, and other entities, as well as ourselves. And I respect every voter law that's out there and everything. I think that we should be in compliance. But we also have to do our due diligence to ensure that we don't, we do everything to not disenfranchise each elected vote out there. So when these abnormalities come out and these tools that we have to just verify that the electoral process has been handled to the best of our ability, and if any discrepancies, obviously working with other agencies. But I just, for some reason, I've heard other entities not have that confidence because of the lack of thoroughness utilizing the tools we do have. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's, every critic will come out and say whatever they want to say about
exactly.
it. But I think it's our duty, I think it's the Hidalgo County Elections Department's duty to assure that we do everything and anything to make sure that we don't disenfranchise each vote. Because of voter apathy, most people say, why should I vote? Because of the mere fact that there's been questions. And I think it's our job to take it as far as we can to assure that it is, that we did everything within our possible not to disenfranchise.
And feel confident, Commissioner Palacios, that we do. Again, there is much that I cannot discuss, but feel confident that we do. There are processes that we have in our office that before weren't there, where it is now easier to identify any type of issue that could be, an alleged issue that could be arising. And again, we immediately do what the law requires us to do, and we then move on to our district attorney's office, first of all, and then move on to whatever legal entity comes to my doorstep. We do that. Again, things that I cannot discuss, things that I cannot disclose. But please know that everything that is allowed to be done is done. We are very, very conscientious of that.
If we can even do more, within the limits of the law, if we can think outside the box and do more. Because I know just from reading the paper, not from being a commissioner, but we had this issue in Westlaco one time. I believe there was 13 people at one address.
Yes, sir.
There was the situation in Hidalgo recently,
yes,
the
sir.
Same thing. And I don't remember if Westlaco caused a re-election, but Hidalgo situation, it did, right? And so let's try to prevent that because it's a big effort Hidalgo, to get out to vote.
It wasn't the residents. That judge did not rule a new election. What happened there was a precinct, which, again, the entities approved.
Oh, they were outside the precinct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what happened. That judge also, did not.
Right, but that issue, there was also the issue of 13 votes in the House or whatever.
And believe you me, sir, the legal
And there
entities,
may be 13 voters in the House. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be that situation, yes, right? But most of the time, it should send off red flags. And
it does, sir. And it does. And again, I stand here confident that what the law allows my department to do as the elections administrator, respectful of the law, is done. It goes beyond us, though. We are not, as the state always reminds us, we are not the immigration, we are not a legal entity, we are the elections office, and we administer elections, and that's what we do. So when we see these patterns that start to establish, please know that we do our due diligence and we do move forward with the information that we have. A little analogy, when I was an administrator in the school and I had a teacher that would constantly discipline his or her students and couldn't teach. And I said, discipline is my area, yours is to manage. When you have an issue that requires discipline, call me in, and that's exactly what we do here. Ours is to manage, to administer, and to supervise elections. We are here to represent the voter. We are here to make sure that the voters' rights are being respected by locating election locations that are suitable to the voter. We are not here then to run a legal investigation. Where the law allows us to do, the state steps in, gives us the forms, gives us the letters, and we do our due diligence there. But where the law says we can't, we then call in on those legal entities, and it is their responsibility at that point.
So last comment, I would just recommend for you to try to get out in front of it when you see numerous stories come out on something. And it may not be something that you did, right? It's something that someone else did. But if you keep seeing the same story over and over again, try to get out in front and say, this is our responsibility, this is what we've done.
Yes, sir.
And so that you can kind of quash some of those comments about your department.
Sir. And we did take your advice, and we are, in fact, we should have put out an FAQ last week, and it was addressing that exactly. But again, we know the situation that happened with our county, and the, it just set us back. But that is going to be our next one, and I would like to end with that, where on June 19th of 2009, were you here then, Commissioner Palacios? 2009. You may have been the only one.
I
Senate Bill 1402. There was Senate Bill 1402 that gave the voters of Hidalgo County the right to petition their governing boards to contract with the elections department, because our local entities have their own personnel, they have their own boards, they have their own authority to run their own elections. As the elections administrator, I am here to administer federal, state, and county, but I have a duty to contract if a political subdivision so asks us to. And if we agree on cost, then I have a duty to contract. So that's 31093. But Chapter 41 now gives the elections administrator the right to not contract in an even-numbered year, as we are doing now. But we continue to do so. We have been asked to contract all elections except Mcallen, like they never have contracted us but one time in my 10 years here. So we continue to simultaneously prepare, not just for our primary, which is our duty, but also for all the cities and schools and water districts and college that are before us. So although the duty to say no is there under statute, we continue because we're here to work together. If there is a special election, like let's say to fill a vacancy, and it runs over our federal election, that's where I can't, because legally I cannot administer another election while there is a federal election that I am administering. So there are a lot of laws, so many laws that are in place, and we make sure that we follow them. But even if an entity were to run their own election and they had 15 voters in one location, they still would have to, by law, not disenfranchise them, but allow them to vote. Because as you study and as I continue to learn the election code, those issues are taken care of after the election in a court of law. And those are the laws of elections. They're very, very straightforward, sometimes too general, but straightforward in what we can do. Not sometimes so straightforward in what we cannot do, but they are straightforward in what we can. And it is a district court that decides, not my office, and certainly not a political subdivision.
No, and if I could end, I don't think that that's the question. I think systematically our elections department has the best staff. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
But we also have to account that there's voter fraud out there. And
yes, sir.
There's systems in there that are manipulated, and we have to do our due diligence, even if it's beyond the law and within our purview, to set up those safeguards to assure that we're sending the right message to every voter that's out there, and that's where I stand.
And thank you, sir, and I agree, and we do. Feel confident that we do so much. Even being able to go out in front of the community and address, we have to be so cautious because we're asked to stay quiet, and we have to respect that. When there is an investigation that is starting off or information that is being given, now right now with social media, we have to be so careful because people believe what they read. And believe you me, Commissioner, I would like to go in there and say, this is so much a lie, but I can't. We have to be respectful.
Right. Social media affects us all.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
it affects me as much as
Exactly.
as it affects you. So.
And so you understand that position. there.
Absolutely. So, but sometimes you can just get out in front of things and talk about it. Social media, or you can have a press conference, or that's it.
Many times when we are interviewed by different channels, they don't put out the message that we try to give. So we also have to be very cautious there.
Sure. That's why you have a press conference and you control the message.
This with the residents, I did come get interviewed, but the way that the story came out was not at all what the message that I was trying to give. So again, we're trying to work on our FAQs. We're trying to address the issue of, for example, now with the primary, you're going to have those voters that are going to call you and they're going to say they turned me away. Well, if you voted Republican, you cannot vote Democrat in this primary. So that's why I try to advise you so that you can go ahead and dispel and put people in the right direction. Have them call us so that we can set the record straight. Sometimes one-on-one is best. I have many visitors that come by, and I rarely have anyone leave angry. I've had one gentleman leave very angry, but he wanted not to choose between the Democrat or Republican election. I was disenfranchising him. Then where would he vote? Which election would he choose? He would not understand that there are two elections that are taking place. Which one? Well, I won't tell you. Then that's your choice. Well, then you're not allowing me to vote. Again, we do deal with those situations, but believe you me, when there are situations that are red flags, we do address them. Letter B, approval of the 2018 May Uniform Election Services contracts, and these are the last, between Hidalgo County and the City of Elsa for their election on May 5th, 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The City of Hidalgo for their election to be held on May 5th, 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The City of Mission for their election to be held on May 5th, 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And with Mission Consolidated Independent School District for their election to be held on May 5th, 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 13, our Head Start program. Good morning, Ms. Flores.
Good morning. We have several items. Excuse me. Two of them are recognition of, one is the nutrition contest winners, and we hold this to help parents learn more about nutrition. It's highly engaging parents throughout the centers, and very impressive in terms of what parents, how parents participate and learn. The 2 and 3 classroom centers. First place, Progreso. Second place, Utrgv. Third place, Hidalgo. 2 and 3 classroom centers, category 2, that was category 1. Western Road, San Juan 1, Mcallen 4. 4 to 5 classroom centers, Sullivan City. First place, Carmen Anaya. Second place, and Mcallen 5, third place. 6 to 7 classroom centers, Varias Head Start Center, first place. Mission 2, second place, and Alton, third place. 8 to 10 classroom centers, Edinburgh 5, first place. Edinburgh 4, second place, and Palacios, third place. And so we're very proud of our parent participation and how they engage, and want to thank all the staff, for really bringing parents into the center and to participate in this very worthwhile event. The second one is a presentation of the Blue Ribbon Centers. And the Blue Ribbon Centers are identified after the self-assessment, and it's to recognize excellence in performance. Self-assessment is a process that is required by the Office of Head Start to make sure that we're in compliance with all the standards, and to recognize where we are with our goals for readiness and our program goals. And to report to you, we have achieved our goals, and we're making progress, of course, to improve the quality of our services. Our first place winner is Utrgv. I'm sorry, we have 10. The first one is Utrgv, and the center manager there is Dahlia Gutierrez. Another one is Mercedes Juan, and the center manager is Veronica Samora. A third one is Mission 4, and the center manager is Diana and Saldua. Fourth one is Progreso, and the center manager is Maristela Infante. The next one is Western Road, and the center manager is Maria Gonzalez. The next one is Palacios, and the center manager is Virginia Montanez. The next one is Mcallen 5. The center manager is Delia Montague, and she has now moved to the central office as a coordinator. The next one is Edinburgh 2, and that's Ms. Dahlia Gutierrez. She is over 2 centers, and both centers placed as blue ribbon. Varias is the next one, and the center manager is Alma Cepeda. And the last one is Palm Butte 2, and the center manager is Cynthia Gonzalez. We congratulate the staff. We congratulate the center managers for their leadership, and we're very proud of our performance throughout all centers. However, this places them in a category of distinction for their above and beyond efforts, and so we wanted to present those to you. The next item is discussion approval of the Head Start Program Self-Assessment Report. As I mentioned to you, the self-assessment is conducted, and then the centers are identified, and there's a weighted process, that is used, and so those that visit the centers spend about 2 weeks reviewing center records, performance, observations, class, children's performance. And so this is required by the Office of Head Start, as I mentioned to you. We have met all the goals having to do with the program goals, having to do with school readiness, and we have all the detail related to the self-assessment. You are welcome to look at that information if you'd like to. At this point, we're asking for your approval for having conducted the self-assessment as required. This is part of what is submitted to the Office of Head Start.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
What about item C?
Okay, I forgot item C. And the recruitment process requires that staff goes out recruiting. We set out to designate a day which everybody recruits, and in this case, even the teachers from the school district helped in the recruiting process. The numbers that you see there as of April the 22nd, 2018, they have gone higher, are at 3,401, and that's new recruits, not counting the returnees. So half of our children return, more or less. And so this is to fill the slots. And so this is the recruiting part. Then it goes through verifying their income and making sure that they qualify for the services. So we're on to preparing for next year in good shape. Okay? And that recruitment, it's just a report for your information. The next item, E, approval to enter a memorandum of understanding between Hidalgo Head Start Program and the Hidalgo Independent School District for the implementation of the School Readiness Partnership Model. In this particular case, we already have an active partnership with Hidalgo ISD. What they have asked is that they have invited us to move into their building, into Hidalgo Elementary School, and so they have allocated classroom space there. Currently, we have a couple of classrooms there. The plan is to add one more classroom, and so it will help us in many different ways. Especially because that would be the school where the children would go to. Secondly, because we would not be responsible for paying any rental or even having to deal with utilities and maintenance of the building. And so we are making that plan to move there next year. Their board has already approved the MOU, and our policy council has too, and now it comes to you for recommended approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The last part of this would be the approval to relocate the classrooms. Since we have them in our building and now they're going into another building, it's an action that is relocating the classrooms.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We do have a volunteer banquet this week, and if any of you are interested in coming, it's on Thursday. It's at the Baptist Center close by our building, and so we recognize volunteers that have contributed the largest number of hours, and then we carry on some of the other recognitions at each center. So we'll send word to your office as to what time that is. Okay. It's on Thursday. I don't know if they've already sent an invitation to you. If not, you are invited. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa. Our Public Defender's Office. No one here. We'll move on to precinct number 1.
Item May, appointment of a member to the Tropical Texas Behavioral Health Board. I'd like to appoint Anika to the board. That'll be my motion.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 16, Precinct 4.
Yes, Judge, Commissioners, discussion on the 84th Annual South Texas County Judges and Commissioners Association Annual Conference. It's to be held here in Mcallen, June 11th to the 14th, 2018, at the Mcallen Convention Center. And we got a short presentation just to kind of cover and highlight the upcoming conference.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Lisbeth Gonzalez and Ms. Lori Iglesias from Commissioner Palacios' office. So with this, we have a small presentation for you, but first we would like to cordially invite you to attend the 84th Annual South Texas County Judges and Commissioners Association. And just to give you a brief background on the association, it was created in 1934. This is actually the second time that the association will be coming to Hidalgo County. The last time they were here was in 2011. There's currently 1,200 active members. Commissioner Palacios will be bringing in 63 counties from the South Texas region to Mcallen June 11th through the 14th, which means last year we had over 300 elected officials come into the conference. So it means that we will be bringing hundreds of elected officials to Hidalgo County. As part of the association, there are 4 subcommittees. It is the Site Selection Committee, the Resolutions Committee, the Nominations Committee, and the Scholarship Committee. This association is brought to you in conjunction with Texas A&M University, with the V.G. Young Institute of Government, and County Progress magazine. As mentioned, last year we brought in 310 registered elected officials and 55 spouses. It is a summer association, so a lot of the attendees do bring in their families as well. Registration is open for all attendees and exhibitors. It is open for all to register and attend. Also, we do have sponsorship slots available, and for conference events and host court night, that information is provided to you in your packet. And just as an FYI, the funds for the association are provided through membership and sponsorship. So everything is very welcomed. If you have any questions.
Judge, if I can, there are 3 associations in Texas. The South Texas Judges and Commissioners Association is the strongest association. It's the one that just seems to be the tip of the sword in regards to providing the continuing education hours that we need annually. I've been on the leadership board for 3 years, and it's been a blessed road going down and serving each capacity, and it's an honor to bring it back to Mcallen, bring it back to Hidalgo County only for the second time in 84 years. I was in West Texas on April 24th to the 27th, welcoming other county judges throughout the state of Texas, as well as their commissioners to South Texas. And I'll be on May the 14th through the 17th. I'll be at Northeast Texas Conference, inviting them as well. Again, it's not just a membership of the South Texas Judges Commissioners Association statewide. So we'll get people from all over the state of Texas to come down. We do have some keynote speakers and a really good array of continuing education courses for us. Some of the highlights, there is an early bird event on June the 11th, Skeet Shoot Social, just to kind of invite them to South Texas. We do have host court night, which is on Tuesday. This is really important. It's going to be held at Quinta Mazatlan along with the city of Mcallen officials. I invite the court to be there just to welcome all of these county judges and commissioners into the Mcallen, the Hidalgo area. And then classes obviously will start on Tuesday. But again, I'm excited. We're going to make it a culture experience. It's hard to compete against San Antonio and all the other areas, but I think we, with what's happening here in Mcallen and Hidalgo County, I think it's an exciting time to bring them all back down here and show them what we have. But I welcome you all.
Well, we have a request to be heard from Ms. Fern McClarity on this matter.
Well, I had a couple of questions. How much is it going to cost? And why in the Mcallen Convention Center? That's one of the most expensive buildings and places to go. Did we check around? Like I know.
So the way it happens, it's zero cost to Hidalgo County.
I like that.
Absolutely zero. City of Mcallen made a bid to host the conference 2 years ago. It was competing against, I believe, South Padre Island, and the other must have been Corpus or some other area. So they won the bid. They donated the convention center. The City of Mcallen is a major donor, as well as providing the Quita Mazatlan, which is normally $6,000. But again, all zero cost to Hidalgo County. We get the benefit of all these elected officials coming down, spending their money here in South Texas. Becomes a good stimulus for the Mcallen area and our hotel lines who, the membership pays for a lot of
Okay, because that would have been good if y'all put that in the presentation, because all we see is our property values going up, and then we see these dollar bills that y'all are kind of throwing out. So we'd like to know.
This is a great thing for us.
Thank you.
And I thank you, Joseph, because we're required to take 16 hours a year, and it's really hard to find hours, so I'll be able to take my 16 hours here locally, so I appreciate that.
And that saves some money to the Hidalgo
Absolutely.
County tax.
Yeah, especially with the VG Young. That's a good program, good accreditation for us.
Thank you, Commissioner. Item number 17, our budget office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 17A is approval to reimburse the tax assessor collector motor vehicle division for an IRS tax levy withheld in error in the total amount of $2,925.50 with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after auditing procedures have been completed by the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 17B is approval and concurrence of the plans of proposed state highway improvements for FM 2220 from mile 5 to FM 1924, CSJ number 2094-01038, with authorization for the county judge to sign title sheets for the plan sets for the project.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 17C, 1A and B is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation of those funds into the Elections Department in the amount of $2,177.82.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, if we could go back to item 14 under the Public Defender's Office. There is a request from the Public Defender's Office to appoint Asma Faisal Salim as a volunteer to the Public Defender's Program as an intern for the period of May 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
18A, Martha Salazar, Purchasing Department. 18A1, Presentation, Acknowledgement, and Action for Hidalgo County Commissioners Court of Notice of Acquisition of Company Miller Uniforms and Emblems by Galls LLC of the assets including existing Hidalgo County contract as of January 31st, 2018, pursuant to the date of bill of sale.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B1, Precinct 1, requesting approval of the final negotiated professional services agreement with Half Associates Incorporated as it relates to professional engineering services for Precinct 1's Sunset Operations. There's a typo, it's Sunset, not Sunrise. Operations Facility, approved for negotiations back on October 31st, 2017.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B, pursuant to Hidalgo County Commissioners Court's approval of professional services agreement with Half and Associates, requesting approval of work authorization 1 in the amount of $112,100 as it relates to the professional services for Precinct 1's Tech Substation construction project.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is pursuant to the approval of that contract with Half Associates, Article 14 of Contract Number 309, a request for approval by engineer to permit the subcontracting of Chanin Engineering to provide structural engineering services for the tax substation project.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Oh, and I stand corrected. All three items would be Sunset Park Operations Facility. All three, A, B, and C. I apologize, Commissioner. But the other caption is correct. I mean, everything else on the caption is correct.
I just
All right.
identify all three as Sunset Park. Item C1, Health and Human Services Department, requesting approval to reject proposals received for online pharmacy billing services. That is project number 078 for the Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department due to limited participation, so as to re-advertise and encourage more participation by vendors.
Just for the record, I'm going to abstain from this.
Yes. For the record, Commissioner Fuentes is
So
abstaining
moved.
from any discussion or action.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Did anyone sign up, Mr. Guerrero?
Yes, sir. We have one participant, Ms. Fern McClarty. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute to go. Ms. Fern.
Okay. First, I would like to ask one more time to have the open forum moved to the front of the Commissioner's Court. I was hoping for a birthday present. My birthday was yesterday. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And I was hoping, I said, oh boy, but of course, no, not again. I am here to carry out two objectives today. The first is to encourage everyone to protest their property values. It is only then that the people can show that they will not or cannot pay anymore. My second object is to support the election of someone who truly cares about the people. Someone that understands that taking more money from the people only creates more poor people. We do this because spending money to replace a courthouse that is always empty, half empty, and for judges that no one seems to be able to make come to work, 9 to 5 would be good, is not good for the people and is not good for business. I know it is good for you, but the majority of the people are not like y'all. Y'all make plenty of money, and there's a lot of people we have met recently that cannot take anymore. You're continually employing more people, giving raises to your friends, relatives, and loved ones. This is why our values are increasing. Most people need to have 2 jobs to survive. And is it true that this commission has given a 30-year abatement to a wind energy company that created 2 mid-level jobs? Is it also true that this commission has created an economic incentive plan that allows the county to advertise statewide on behalf of an existing developer? Is it true that this county gives a majority of its indigent health funding to a for-profit hospitals and specifically ignores our county health clinics? Hopefully you will remember that we have been telling you that you can't keep increasing taxes on the people of Hidalgo County. We just can't afford it. And I would like to ask again, why on the agenda every week y'all allow the health department to keep something set on the agenda that is never voted on, never discussed? Is there a law or something that allows someone to keep putting something on that there is no action on? You're just hoping and praying for the hospital district so you could tax the poor people of Hidalgo County one more tax. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And Judge, we did have one non-audience member also for open forum. Commissioner?
Judge, Commissioners, I don't know if it was discussed last week. I attended the TxDOT Commission meeting along with Bobby from the judge's office, but it dealt with the minute order. It was approved by TxDOT, but I just think that it's again noted that it's very rare that TxDOT ever relinquishes anything without value. I just want to thank the TxDOT Commission. I want to thank the judge's office, and all of the commissioners that have had a lot to do with making sure that TxDOT, partnered with us and gave the benefit back to Hidalgo County residents by just deeding it over to us. So we're excited about it. So it happened last week in TxDOT Commission. So the entire square, after 50, 60 years, is now going to be completely intact. So we're excited about it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Judge, Commissioners, we do have executive session.
Pursuant to 551071 and 072 of the Texas Government Code, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We will be in executive session. All right, we're convening back in open session. Mr. Guerrero.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under item 22, open session, 22A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same There's no action to be taken today. 22B, pending and or potential litigation, no action to be taken. 22C, Hidalgo County versus U.S. Department of Commerce, Bureau of the Census, proceed as directed. And 22D, EEOC, charge number 31C-2018-00896C, Georgina C. Bermudez versus Hidalgo County, proceed as directed. Judge Commissioners, Judge Commissioners and Mr. Crane, as a disclosure on item 22D, the Bermudez versus Hidalgo County, as a disclosure, we will be participating in a mediation. Judge Commissioners, there's nothing to go back into close and or open. We have adjourned.
Move to adjourn.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Are we having a meeting?
Yes, we do have court next week, May 8th.